Okay, I think Tom's going to start with something here real quick that he's got, and then I'm going to introduce our speakers. Like I said, I've heard from different people, including the Tuckers, that these folks have been out and about, and I was a professor in criminal justice, and I still got, I call it, by some of these hackers and these scammers. And I should know better, but they are that good. And they're changing up their methods constantly. So it's a fluid thing. So we're going to talk today, especially with Christmas coming up, and you're going to start getting those phone calls, and you're going to start getting those, your mailbox, if you ever get your mail, Mr. Tucker, that you're going to start getting your mailbox full of things asking you for money. So you're going to need to know how to be aware. And Brother Sean went out to a workshop out at that he had attended out at Fort Moore a couple of weeks ago, and he came back and said, okay, I get it now. Yeah, let's push this. So that's what we're going to do today, is just talk about some of those things. I'm going to let Tom get started, and then I'm going to introduce our folks here. And actually, before you do, Brother Lewis, can you start with a prayer, please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm running in between 2 or 3 different places. So I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for the officers for being here. And if you would, bow with me now for a word of prayer. Our Almighty God, who art in heaven, we're indeed thankful for you, thankful to you, thankful for your Son, Jesus Christ, thankful for this opportunity that we've been given to host this meeting that we're having to talk about cybersecurity. And we pray, Heavenly Father, that it will be beneficial for everyone here and help us to share this information that we're about to learn. We're thankful for the 2 officers who gave up their time this Saturday morning to be here to help us with this information. And we pray, again, that we will use this information not only for our benefit, but to benefit others, to keep others from becoming victims. We thank you. We praise you. We lift high your holy name. This prayer we ask in thy Son, Jesus' precious name. Amen.
We want to thank the officers for coming today and teaching us about scamming. I just want to say a few words and refer to Scripture with the things that we're going through in our society and the world. One word is apostasy, which means the falling away. The second one, the son of perdition revealed. Perilous times, enduring sound doctrine, false teachers. 2 Thessalonians 2:3, let no man deceive you by any means, for the day shall come, except there be a falling away first, and that the sin be revealed, and the son of perdition. So we understand sin, the son of perdition, the falling away will occur first. 2 Timothy 3:1, this now also, this in the last days, perilous times shall come. Are we in it? Yes, we are. 2 Timothy 4:3, for the time will come, will they not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they keep to themselves having itchy ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall turn to fables. We see the falling away. We are Christian, and we know that denominational teaching is not teaching the right doctrine. They put stumbling blocks in front of Christian children and adults, teaching the wrong things. We have groups that are asking for rights when individuals have rights. Pandering, where government needs not to be. Prayer is needed for the forces of evil. They are very active, and Christians need to be prepared. Thank you.
Okay, some of you know, some of you don't know that I retired from the university over here. I was a college professor in the field of criminal justice. So I have students, former students that I've met at all levels, bachelor, master's, and all over town. So, I mean, even both of the Francis girls came through my class. Sarah, Curtis and Sarah Duke came through my class too, and I was very, very excited to have them in the classes that I taught. Victor's wife, Derica, was in my Saturday classes at the Command College. And Sergeant Edenfield, that I'm going to introduce you here today. Sergeant Edenfield came through the master's program in the Command College that I was head of I was a professor in that one too, helping out Dr. Rainey, and you all, Dr. Rainey attended this church for a long time, so you all may have known Archie Rainey, and so we all knew him from over there at school and coming through classes. So Sergeant Edenfield is actually from Savannah, Georgia, and or close to Savannah. She actually met my brother at Richmond Hill High School down there when my family lived in Savannah, which I didn't know. It's a small world, the connections that come up every now and then. So, and then she came over here to, I don't know, Columbus Police Department first, and then through the Command College. And then she went through the Command College also to get her master's degree. She is currently Sergeant Jane Edenfield, and she is over the financial fraud division of the Columbus Police Department. So they handle, and Corporal Miller also is her assistant, and they handle a lot of the financial card things. One that we just got to hit a little close to home here recently, folks, is they were talking about the what do they call it, the skimming, the skimmers. I got caught with a skimmer last year because I bought gas and used my pen over in, unbelievably, Florence, Alabama at a gas station, and by the time I got home, they'd gotten all my money out of my checking account. So they had one just recently and identified some grocery stores, and one of them is the Winn-Dixie right down the street, okay, that had a skimmer on, and the criminals were getting people's PIN numbers when they would use their debit cards. So just as an example, I mean, it's right here in this neighborhood, it's in our community, it's in the world, but Sergeant Edenfield has informed me that it's a fluid thing. It's changing constantly, so some of you that have heard this presentation by her, it may be a little bit different this time because some other things have happened. And right here before the holidays is when they really come after all of us, but definitely the elderly, because my mother gets the phone calls all the time. I have to tell her to hang up. She said, "But that's rude." I said, "They're criminals. Be rude." So anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Edenfield. I'm looking forward to hearing this presentation too, because I haven't heard it yet. And like I said, she was kind of sort of one of mine, so I'm really excited to hear this.
Thanks. Don't mess up. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for having me this morning. Corporal Miller, if you've got a question, she's going to come around with a mic so everybody can hear it, okay? Who has heard one of my presentations before? Good. It'll be different. Okay. I move around a lot. I'll probably end up sweating by the end of it. So I make this fun. I make this lively. So if y'all have a question, please just raise your hand and ask, okay? I learn from these just as much as you guys learn from these, because you guys see things that I haven't seen yet, and then guess what? I get to put it in one of these presentations, and then for the next group, I get something, I pull it from you guys, okay? So if y'all seen something, let me know, okay? Like Dr. Dallas said, I'm Sergeant Edenfield. I'm originally from Savannah. Moved out to Richmond Hill, Georgia in 5th grade. Graduated from Richmond Hill High School. Went to Armstrong Atlantic State University in Savannah. I'm not sure if you guys know that. It is now Georgia Southern Savannah campus. We liked our little, community college, but when I was there at Armstrong, I did an internship with the United States Secret Service, and it opened my eyes to financial crimes and fraud, because that's actually what The majority of Secret Service does, and that's actually what, does anybody know who established Secret Service? They were initially in the Treasury Department, yep. Abraham Lincoln established them to protect the Union's currency during the Civil War. So they were actually in the Treasury Department. So they handle fraud, they handle financial crimes, they handle shoplifting, things like that. So I got to see all that counterfeit money. It is still a thing. So that instilled in me in college kind of my love for fraud and financial crimes. I just went to college like yesterday. So what I decided to do, I wanted to be a Secret Service agent. For that, you need a master's degree and 5 years of law enforcement experience. My aunt lives here. My grandfather was a preacher at St. Luke Methodist Church back in the 70s, so I've got some roots here. Came here to get my master's. When I was wrapping up my master's, I got hired on with the police department. About 3-4 years into the police department, I'd finished my master's and got signed up for the PT test with Secret Service and got T-boned in my patrol car, ruptured a disc in my back, and several surgeries later, that wasn't going to fly anymore. So, but guess what? I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and I'm almost full circle because I'm doing exactly what I love anyway. So that's a little bit about me. January will be 18 years for me at the police department, even though I just graduated high school. So I like to get out there so you guys know where I come from and my background, okay? Thank you again for having me, and y'all ready? I know pews don't have seatbelts, but, hold on, okay? All right, like Dr. Dallas said, I'm one of the sergeants over the property crimes unit. We also do the financial crime side of it. Corporal Miller's been with me for 5-6 years now. These are some of the crimes that we work. We're going to go through some of these as we go. The one I want to touch on this screen, the financial transaction card theft and fraud. So that's stealing your credit card and using it, right? Who still eats at Cracker Barrel? Y'all can, it's okay. Who shops at Winn-Dixie? Or Publix or something like that, okay? For my women in the room, what do you do with your purse when you go to the grocery store? And in full disclosure, we're going to make fun of me at some point, so you can make fun of yourselves also, okay? But what do you do with your purse? You put it in the cart? Okay. Good. All right. What do you do when you eat at Cracker Barrel? What do you do with your purse? You put it over the chair, don't you? Uh-huh. Okay, well, we've got groups that come out of all over the country. It's a thing. And what they do, so you're eating a Cracker Barrel, you put it on your chair, right? They walk by, steal your wallet out of your purse. Then they go across the street to Target, buy a bunch of gift cards, and then from there they can move the money. Well, by the time you get done eating and go to pay for your meal, that's when you realize, because your purse isn't gone, just your wallet, okay? Same thing in the grocery stores, right? They walk by, they grab just your wallet out of your purse. You finish grocery shopping. By the time you get done, you get to the register, you realize your wallet's gone. They've already been to Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy, wherever, and spent several $1,000s buying gift cards, okay? These guys aren't local, They are out of Mexico. We've got some from China, and yes, they hit right here. The skimmers that we were talking about earlier. Stash, where was that group? The skimmers. You want to know where they were from? And it wasn't Guatemala, but Haiti. And they hit the entire state of Georgia. There was about 5 or 6 of them, and they just kind of moved in pairs, okay? So y'all just keep that in mind. If you take your wallet, your purse to a grocery store, zip it up. I mean, it is quick. I wish I could put a video on a PowerPoint of the last one that we had at Publix. They're wearing a bucket hat and sunglasses, and it is quick. The lady turns around to grab some soup or something off the shelf, and it's gone, just like that, okay? And then we'll go through some of these other crimes as we go. But there's about 3 things I want you guys to take from this. The first one, if someone asks for payment in a gift card, it is a scam. If they call you and they tell you got warrants for your arrest, you missed jury duty, your Social Security number's been compromised, and they say, hey, go to Walgreens and buy $1,500 worth of gift cards and read me the numbers off the back, it is a scam. Okay? If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. You're not going to inherit $10 billion from a relative you didn't know you had and then have a Mercedes sitting in your driveway tomorrow. Okay? I used to say nobody from the government will call you, but typically nobody from the government will call you and say you have a warrant for your arrest. Now, we've had to do that here lately, so I have to kind of revise that statement, but I'm not going to call and say, hey, you've got a warrant for your arrest, meet me at 510 10th Street, make sure you bring those Apple gift cards, okay? The IRS is not going to call you and say, hey, you'll back taxes from 2023, but we can square it away without taking out a warrant for you if you go buy these gift cards and read me the numbers off the back. Especially if they say 2023, because it's the IRS. I mean, they still working through like 2019. So, okay. FBI, ATF, all of those, we're not going to ask for payment in gift cards, okay? If you have not entered the Publishers Clearinghouse or played the lottery, you cannot win the Publishers Clearinghouse or the lottery. So if they call you and say, hey, you won $10 million in the Publishers Clearinghouse, first question is what? Did I enter the Publishers Clearinghouse? Okay. One more time, if somebody calls you and says you got warrants for your arrest, you missed jury duty, your Social Security number's been compromised, will you go to Walgreens and get $500 in gift cards? It's a what? It's a what? Okay, there's a test at the end of this, so I'm going to need y'all to make sure you're taking notes, okay? Now, I used to just do gift cards. However, does anybody know what Bitcoin is? Good, then y'all can come work my next case because I don't know what the heck it is, man. So, it's cryptocurrency. I mean, I know what it is, but trying to work it's nuts. Corporal Miller and I tried to take a couple classes on it, and you should have seen our faces when we got done. All those scenarios I just gave you guys with gift cards, right? It also applies if they say, go pull cash from your checking account and go put it in an ATM, a Bitcoin ATM, which they look like this, that is also a scam, okay? FBI, ATF, Columbus Police Department, Muskogee County Sheriff's Office is not going to ask you to square away a warrant by getting cash and putting it in a Bitcoin machine. And yes, they are all over town. We have several hundred of these, okay? All right? They look like deer in headlights already. We only like 3 slides in. All right. Types of phone scams, we're going to go through each of these, but people ask all the time, how do folks fall for it? Right? If the suspects are in India or Turkey or Jamaica or wherever, how do they fall for it? It's called spoofing. Does anybody know what spoofing is? Spoofing. The spoofing, it makes your screen on your phone, like we had one last week. They're pretending to be a retired sergeant with us, but on the screen, it's got 706-225-3205, which is our desk services number, and it says Columbus Police Department. But it's actually, they're calling from like India, okay? It's called spoofing, and I'll give you an example here. It goes along with this Georgia. Y'all are all Georgia? Anybody live in Alabama? Okay. I'm going to go through Georgia Power, but it's the same for Alabama Power. So, has anybody gotten this phone call? They'll call and say, hey, your power bill's late, but we'll square it away right now. Just give me your bank card over the phone. No? Okay. It's still a thing, okay? This is my phone on the screen. They call me to tell me that my power bill was late. But to save me the trip all the way down to Georgia Power, they'd handle it right there if I gave my bank card over the phone, okay? Can y'all see on the blue screen what it looks like? That's what it looked like. That's spoofing. These callers, I can tell you from the accent, were not from Georgia. Yeah. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
My mother received a phone call from my father who had been dead for years.
Yes. Yes. And it said what on the screen? Can y'all hear that? Okay. So this guy calls me, says my Georgia Power bill is late. We'll square it away right now. Please just give me the 16-digit code on your card. Please give me the expiration date and the 3 numbers on the back of the card. I said, this is going to be fun. I made sure and wait till I got out of work because I said a few choice words. As you can see right here, he called me. We talked for about 7 minutes and 49 seconds. I kept him pretty busy. By the end of it, let's just say he hung up on me. And then when I tried to call him back, it wouldn't go through. I just hit the redial. Do you want to know why? Because it wasn't actually this number calling me. It was some international phone number calling me. Just the screen was different. Now, do y'all know what's funny? Like they said, I'm from Savannah originally, right? I saw the same cell phone number since I got it when I was 16 years old. What's my area code? It's a Georgia-based area code, right? 912. So that's why they called to tell me that my Georgia power bill was late. Funny thing is, I live in Alabama. But yeah, by the end of it, he hung up the phone on me. But I figured that's 7 minutes and 49 seconds that they didn't call one of you guys. So anytime I can do it, I do it. I mentioned it earlier, lottery, sweepstakes, inheritance scams. I've got an example. This is an actual letter I got sent. Publishers Clearinghouse. They said that the guy won a god-awful amount of money. What's the first question if you get one of these? Did I enter into the Publishers Clearinghouse, right? Something that we look at, y'all know on the bottom of the check is what? The routing number, right? So this routing number should match Bank of America, right? And you can Google routing number. It's not a secret. Okay? This routing number is actually for Citizens Bank in Rhode Island. So you know right there the check's not legit. Okay? We also Googled these folks right here who're supposed to be, I call them the C-suite, CEO, CFO, COO, for Publishers Clearinghouse. None of those people are actually on the board. And this is just simple Google stuff that we checked, okay? But first question is what? Did I actually enter into the Publishers Clearinghouse? Say you did enter in the Publishers Clearinghouse, right? Okay, well, maybe I won, $3.15 million, right? If you win the lottery or Publishers Clearinghouse or you get an inheritance, do you have to pay taxes up front to get the money? No, you do not, okay? They take it out of the check before they send it to you, okay? So this one right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. They were going to send him the money, but they wanted him to pay $40,000 in tax so that he could get his $3.15 million, okay? You're not going to have to pay tax if you do actually win the lottery or something. That should be, FBI would call that a clue. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. Like, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. Right. Interesting. Right. Yeah. Yep.
So she said, well, look, I got a phone call coming in, so I didn't know he gonna be ready.
Right.
Okay. I called the police department. This is the thing. And when I was telling him about it, and he was in Las Vegas. That's what came from Las Vegas. So the guy, the police told me, he said, well, it sounds like you already scammed.
Yep. Yep. And what did he? I don't know if y'all could hear all that, but what did he want you to do? He wanted you to go buy a gift card for $500 to supposedly get how much? $25,000. And I will tell you, they will, if you give them their bank account information, they will move money into it to make it look legit. And then the minute you buy that gift card, they yank it right back out. Okay? All right, romance scams. I do want to touch on this. These guys, I swear, has anybody seen the movie Beekeeper with Jason Statham yet? If you haven't, you need to watch it. Beekeeper with Jason Statham. Romance scams, I'm telling you, they watch people's Facebooks and they see when you lose a loved one, when you get divorced, something like that, and that's when these guys prey on you. And what they do is they'll message you on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and then they'll tell you, they woo you, but then they tell you they can't talk on the phone because they work on an oil rig or they're overseas or they're in the military. Why do they not want to talk to you on the phone? Because of their what? Accent? Okay? So, and these guys, they will do it for 6, 8, 10 months, and then guess what they ask for? Some money. Oh, well, I had a medical emergency. Oh, will you help me buy a plane ticket? Oh, I'm trying to start a business, okay? All these things, I've gotten reports, they are actual scenarios, okay? So y'all be mindful. All right, grandparent scams. Not that anybody in this room fits this category, okay? And it's called grandparent scams, but I really think it should be grandparent/parent scams because I've had people in their 40s that fall for this as well, okay? It happens in a various amount of ways, but they will either call pretending to be a lawyer or law enforcement, and they'll say, hey, your grandson has been in a vehicle accident or your grandson's been arrested. I'm actually named after my grandmother, so grandparents and grandkids, that bond, right? When mama says no, who do we go to? Grandmama and granddaddy, right? And they know that. So they prey on this. They say, hey, look, Johnny didn't want to call mom and daddy because he knows that they'll be mad, so he wanted me to call you. But he needs some money for bail or bond. Or they'll pretend to be the attorney and say, hey, I'm the public defender. I'm defending Johnny because he got put in jail. We need some money. Sometimes it's a gift card. Sometimes it's wired money. I'll give you a scenario. They were calling this lady, advised that her grandson had been arrested in the Arizona area, and they needed money for bond. So she, of course, wires money. Do y'all know how much she wired? $100,000. Now this is, once you fall for it, they know their hook's in, right? They're going to keep reeling. After she wires it, they call back. They say, whoop, we found some guns in the car, so the bond's going to be higher. We need some more money for your son, your grandson. Okay, how much did she send? Another $100,000. They're just reeling, right? They're just reeling. Big old fish. She sends that. They then call back and say, police department ran the serial numbers. They come back to a bunch of murders from a cartel in Mexico. The bond's going to be even higher. We need some more money. Guess how much she sent? Another $100,000. The reason I say it should be called grandparent/parent scam, her son came to the house to do something else, happened to see a bunch of sheets of paper under the landline phone with a bunch of phone numbers written on it, right? So he says, Mama, what's this? Oh, I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd be mad, but little Johnny, he got arrested out in Arizona, and I sent him some bond money to help him get out of jail. The son, who'd be the father of the grandchild, also believed it, called his son and says, how did you get arrested in Arizona and then call your grandmother and you didn't call me? And the son says, what are you talking about, Dad? I'm in Atlanta. I haven't even left. So even the dad almost fell for it, okay? Does all of that, you get that? Sometimes it'll be the lawyer, sometimes it'll be an officer. Sometimes we'll talk about it in a minute, AI and voice stuff. They'll pretend like we have these reports and the grandparents are like, I swear it sounded just like them, With the way TikTok and y'all know TikTok, and they're on there talking on Facebook, Facebook posts and things, they get their voice. And with AI now, okay? I've had a couple people tell me, my grandmother and grandfather, like I said, who was a preacher here, they had a funky, we called them Mimp and Dimp. My oldest twin cousins couldn't say grandma or grandpa. So it turned into Mimp and Dimp. And in Savannah, you could say Dr. Jason Shira or Jane Shira, and they'd be like, who? And you say Mimp and Dimp, they'd be like, oh yeah, I know them. So I've had several people tell me that they didn't call them by the right name. I go by Mimp, and they call me grandma. Things like that, okay? So pay attention to those things, okay? All right, government impersonation and imposter scams. We talked about this a little bit. Police department was dealing with one last week. They were pretending to be Sergeant Craig Haggis, telling people they got warrants, wanted them to go buy gift cards, wanted them to meet them down at the public safety building. Muskogee County Sheriff's Office was dealing with it about a month ago. Same thing. They actually met them down in front of the government center and gave them cash, okay? So Greg Countryman, Sheriff Countryman, they put a post up, we put a post up. That's not how we operate, okay? What are we gonna do if you got a warrant? We're just gonna kick in your daggone door and yank you out, right? All right, bank phone call scams. Again, remember, spoofing, right? So on the screen, it's gonna say Synovus Bank, okay? It's gonna say Wells Fargo Bank. Synovus got hit with this last year. They call and say, hey, there's a problem with your account. Can I please have your full debit card number, expiration date, security code on the back so we can get this squared away? Well, if the bank is calling you, shouldn't they already have that? Because they got the phone number from where? Your records, your file, right? If they say, hey, there's a problem with your bank account, but I need your account and routing number, didn't you call from my file? How about you look it up? Okay, what can you do if you get one of these phone calls? You can hang up and then call the bank yourself, right? Do y'all have the banking apps on your phones where you check on your phone, some of y'all? Could you check there instead, see if there's actually a problem? Okay? Looks like I'm scaring the crap out of you. Am I? Okay. All right, healthcare and Medicare scams. Has anybody gotten these phone calls or emails? Yeah? Can you remember what they said? What did they say to you? That you owe money, that you needed a renewal, something like that, right? My mom, a couple years ago, was in the hospital. She had a total knee replacement, and then she ended up getting MRSA in it. So I was down in Mobile with her for a couple weeks while she was in the hospital. You know them jokers called her patient room? My mom was still working. She's a nurse. So she didn't have Medicare or Medicaid yet. Them jokers called her hospital room to tell her that, your coverage is about to be canceled, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's just say I asked the nurse to leave the room, and then, because my mom was doped up, so she didn't hear it. But I asked the nurse to leave the room, and I had a good old conversation with that person. But think about it. As you're walking the halls in the hospital, how many patients don't have family members there with them? So they answered the phone. And they didn't target my mom. They were just calling and asking for room numbers, right? Okay? They'll also call your house. They'll send emails. Okay? Y'all just keep this in mind. If you really need to check on your Medicare or Medicaid, the 1-800-MEDICARE or healthcare.org, most of you guys should have an agent already if you do have this. So that's who you should deal with, okay? We're talking about AI. If somebody calls you, has anybody gotten this? Can you hear me? Has anybody gotten that yet? Can you hear me? What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how do you answer the phone? Can you hear me? What's a good way to answer that? Something I can't say in a church right now. Yeah, there you go. Can you hear me? Okay. But what they want you to do is say yes. Because when you call the bank, what are the questions? You know, something, yes. Something, yes. And okay? And then they're using AI with your voice. Okay? So can you hear me? That's a good one. That is correct. There you go. That's a good one. Don't say yes. Don't say no. If you want to be a smart butt, you can, you know. I typically am when they call me, so y'all just keep that in mind. Okay, can you guys spot the difference? Don't read this bottom part. Can y'all spot the difference right here? For you guys over here. My bank to you and my bank to you. The A's. Man, you cheated because you've already seen one of my presentations. That's not fair. Can y'all see the A now? How it's different? See how it's different? We're about to talk about scam emails, okay? So y'all keep that in mind. How about this one? dol.ga.gov. Yeah, I know, it's tough up here. They're getting smarter because we're about to talk about like Amazon emails and things like that. If you get an email, it should come from the legitimate company at Amazon.com. Well, that actually looks pretty legit, dol.ga.gov. So what I did, because I got this in my phone again, I said, well, let me go Google Department of Labor. Well, they are dol.georgia.gov, okay? They're getting that good. But what did I do? I got this text message, even though I knew it was crap, but because I don't have an EBT card. Which I got this, and now I've gotten about 40 reports of EBT cards being hacked. So this is probably the start of it. But what did I do? I went and Googled, right? Georgia Department of Labor to see what their email address would be. Okay? And it shows you right there, dol.georgia.gov, okay? All right, funny story about me. And I tell this story so that if you do get scammed, you don't feel bad, okay? Because Sergeant Enfield almost got scammed. This is an email that I got supposedly from Amazon. I'm friends with the Postal Service lady, UPS guy, FedEx guy. There's a lot of Amazon packages that come to my house. So, got an Amazon email. Okay. What should I have not done? Call that number in red, right? Well, I did. What should I have done first? Check this email address. Can y'all see that all the way up there? I don't know if you can see it. If you get something from Amazon or eBay, what would the email address be from? At Amazon.com? At eBay.com? Something like that. If y'all can see this, it says no reply at listmailer.com. Okay, that should have been my first clue, but it wasn't. Corporal Miller was in my office probably asking for a day off. I hadn't had enough Diet Mountain Dew yet, you know. They hit me first thing in the morning. So I called this number right here in red. What could I have done instead? Checked my Amazon account on my phone. Could I have Googled Amazon customer service? No, I did that. Call the guy. He has a pretty thick accent. Missed clue number 2. He asked if I was on a Android or iPhone. I said I'm on my desk phone. He said, well, can you call me back on your cell phone? I missed clue number 3. Called him back on my cell phone. He said, do you have an Android or an iPhone? I said, I have an Android. He said, okay, I'm going to send you a little, I need you to go to Play Store and download this app on your phone. Missed clue number 4, I did that too. He said, okay, I'm going to send you a code. I need you to enter it into that app you just downloaded. I think Corporal Miller finally left my office, and so I had a moment to breathe. And I said, I think this is a scam. So I can't say, because I'm in a church, but at that point I hung up the phone and I called my wife who used to work in financial crimes and the reason that I get all these Amazon packages. And I told her what happened. And she said, well, you didn't download the app, did you? I said, I did. And I won't tell you what she called me either. What's on your phone? Everything. I have a whole notepad that has my passwords on it, right? My banking apps are on there. All of that, okay? So I tell you that story because I almost fell for it. So I don't want you guys to feel bad or embarrassed if you do fall for a scam because they are just that good, okay? Now this is a legitimate email from Amazon. Hopefully you guys can see it says @amazon.com, shipment tracker @amazon.com, okay? Y'all see that over here? At Amazon. And y'all remember what did the scam email come from? @listmailer.com or something like that, okay? All right, same thing, tech support, computer scams. Sometimes it'll be pop-ups on your screen. Sometimes it'll be emails and then you click a link, things like that.
We get a lot of those, by the way, on our church email. I try and read them immediately, but they'll say, you have to click on the link that says order confirmation, and it'll be somebody's name. It's nobody to do with this congregation or anything, and then I try and just delete those as soon as they come in, but we get a lot, we actually get a lot.
Yeah.
Of those. And then there's one other one that I wanted to mention, about the live stream. We get folks that will come in on the live stream. We
Yeah.
have church service and say, just looking for somebody to connect with them so that I can.
Donate some money,
Well,
something.
I connect and talk to you. I'm so blessed. I feel
Right.
like I'm going out here, jump off the bridge, and all that. We have some pop in on our live stream.
Right.
And I just wanted to let everybody know that I mentioned this to our church leadership, and they said, please don't respond to them. If they do, like on your Wednesday night feed or something, whatever, let the elders and the deacons handle that, especially since we can handle online at the time it's happening. They know to watch those.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, I had a wealthy man contact me because he appreciated, my preaching and stuff, and he was independently wealthy, and he wanted to give me $10,000. And now I've been a scam artist athlete since I was in middle school. My best friend and I, we would message these people. We love anytime we get a call or like someone that from a scam person, we would play with them. And I've done that my entire life.
Oh yeah, like I really want to like create a part-time job just for me to do that,
So
you
I
know?
love this. I love watching the YouTube videos for
Yeah,
people that
yeah,
mess with these people.
yeah.
I've messed with them since before that YouTube existed.
Right.
I've messed with them. I don't do it anymore because of AI. You brought that up about them getting the yes. I don't mess with them anymore because of AI.
Right.
Because I know what they can do with your voice, so I don't talk to them at all. But this guy was pretty convincing because he said, look, there's no strings attached. I'm not going to ask you for anything. I'm just going to send you the money to your PayPal. I'm real. I'm genuine. I appreciate what you're doing. I'm independently wealthy, and literally, I'm just going to send you this money. And so I Googled it, and what I found out was what they do it to different types of people. It's probably more often done with amorous type stuff because they find what's important to you, and they say they value that. They do send you the money to your PayPal, and then they wait like a week, and they say, I hate to do this, but I just had this big bill come up. I don't need it all back. I just need like 1,000 back, and then I'll give it back to you once this money clears. And what they're doing, they're sending you money with the stolen credit. Like
Right.
PayPal hopefully has fixed this by now, but they could send you money with a stolen credit card, which is going to disappear on you. But the 1,000 you send back
Right, it's real.
does not disappear. It's
Right.
real money
Yep.
that you owe.
I'm telling you, man, I can't keep up. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
But Google, you've said it so many times, like literally you type into Google what is happening, and it immediately pops up and says,
yes, this is what they're trying to do.
Right. Yep. And I'll tell you, because I don't know y'all's website, but are your church like heads? Are they on the website, like their email addresses and stuff?
Not their email, we have a church email address.
Okay.
That I pretty much monitor.
Okay.
But Curtis, one of our leaders over there, he monitors it. I don't know if y'all, Lewis, any of the deacons, the elders, but I know Curtis does and I do. And Matt, I think, okay, do you go on an occasion, don't you go on an occasion, I email if we get things? You know, I try to skip the.
I hardly even go in my email. If you email me, tell me you did.
You see, I work security, Corporal Miller and I do, for Winton Methodist. And their website, they've got the name of their pastor on there and all that kind of stuff. So there was a text message thing going or an email thing going around talking about the pastor was asking for gift cards to give to the community for something. So it sounds pretty legit, but the pastor wasn't actually asking for that. But all they did was get the information from the website. And sometimes these churches put their email addresses and things on the website. So, getting the spoofed emails and things like that. So I'll have to keep that in mind about their PayPal.
There's psychics that mess with people with this stuff, where they're fake psychics, and they do this for fun, where they can find out so much from you on your social media and things of that nature.
Yeah.
That you think they're a psychic, and all they did was look you up.
Yeah.
Like, it's
And that's what I talk about with the romance scams when I was talking about that. They've already dug in and investigated, and then they know, and y'all watch Beekeeper, I'm telling you, it puts it all into perspective, how they research and how they do things. And it's got some action and stuff in there too. So thank you for that. And like I said, I learned just as much as I teach with these things. But this is just some other examples. What do they want you to do if this pops up? They want you to call this number, right? What I would do, first thing, just unplug the computer. Okay? But don't call these numbers. Don't be Sergeant Edenfield and call the number on the screen. Okay? Do what? Yeah. Because it's scary, right? This is all popping up on your face on the computer, and you're like, oh, God, what's going on, Yeah. I'm telling you, they can do this before they can, crawl or walk. I've added this one. We're still, we were talking about Amazon and the emails, and it comes from Amazon.com. So this is one, the Geek Squad scam. Can y'all see that? I can hardly see it. The email address right here. If it came from Best Buy, what should the email address be? At bestbuy.com, right? Not googlegroups.com. Okay? There's your first issue. So if you think you have an issue with your Best Buy account, if you've got one of those, your Geek Squad account, should you call this number right here? Should you Google what is Geek Squad's phone number and then call from that? Okay, yes, ma'am.
You can't always depend on Google either. My sister received a letter from Microsoft saying that her account was, that she paid them every month for service. But they didn't have a phone number, and she went out to a website and got a phone number from Microsoft and called them. She got hacked. When she went back to look, that phone number she's never been able to go back to.
Right.
Or the people that helped her get on. So you have, because
You've got to be careful when you Google, because a lot of times when you Google, that it's going to be a scam website popping up anyway. So
she, when she took it into her Google to help her get her computer back, they told her, you never call Microsoft.
Right.
But you notice you always text
Right.
with Microsoft.
right,
And so, but then she went to look later and she couldn't find the
Right.
website. Because when she called that number, they answered Microsoft.
Mhm.
And then they said, oh, you've been hacked. And they started helping her clean up because it was a support that she was calling that she was trying to find out about her payment back
right,
that they said they didn't get.
right.
You can speak to this, but when I say Google it too, you describe what you've received or what's going on, include the word scam, and typically you're gonna, as you scroll down, you're gonna find Snopes, you're gonna find a Reddit thread, you're gonna find something that describes to you, yes, this happens to people, this is what they're doing.
And-
So
And you brought up a good point about calling. You know, these, when I was talking about imposters earlier, government imposters, and the IRS calls you and says, hey, you're late on your taxes. Have y'all ever really gotten a phone call from the IRS? Can y'all get a hold of the IRS? No. So the IRS is not going to call you. What do you normally get from the IRS? You get a letter with a really thick, because it's high expensive federal government paper, and it's usually like off-white. So that made me think of it about the phone call thing. So, yes, ma'am.
Recently, I've been getting emails that say, your order was not able to be shipped because of an invalid address from somebody. I didn't even order anything.
Yeah, and there's probably a link in there they want you to click, and then you're going to get those little pop-ups on your screen. But what can you do on the email? If you didn't order anything, good, just delete it. But say you did, check the email address, right? Check the email address. Like say you actually did order something, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And that, go. Yeah, and that's, yeah, we're about to hit these texts right here, but, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I want to say I've got one in here, but, you know, we talked about emails, and then here's the text messages. Who banks with Wells Fargo? It's okay. You know, it's cool. Just kidding. Okay. You get a text from Wells Fargo, which they do text, but can y'all see this? If you get something from Wells Fargo, what would it say right here? At wellsfargo.com, something like that? Not yq9h1.com. All right, for those, have y'all ever heard them say your Wells online banking? It's always Wells Fargo or Wells Fargo Bank. So just look at the wording on these texts, okay? That's the one right here with the PayPal. Your account has been restricted. They want you to click right here. But if y'all can see it at the top, it's got a whole bunch of numbers and stuff, okay? What can you do if you actually have PayPal and you get this text message other than delete it? You can check your PayPal account, just like Amazon, okay? All right, Netflix. Who's got Netflix? I do too. I'll be killing some movies on them when I get home from work. Okay, so from Netflix, you get a text message, right? First of all, can y'all check this grammar? This is an old one. They've gotten way better, but check the grammar. But if you get something from Netflix, who should it be from? Not A94R.live, okay? So what can you do if you get one of these? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, there you go. Yeah. All right, so this one right here, you're talking about the Postal Service. This one is UPS, but it's Postal Service, FedEx, all of them, okay? So this is my phone again. I got this text message. Can y'all see it? We are unable to deliver your UPS, whatever number package. Please visit. They want you to click on this to reschedule your delivery. Okay, so this one, Corporal Miller and I did on purpose because we wanted to see where it went. It wasn't like my Amazon fumble. So we clicked right here. It took us to this screen. On these type screens, aren't these supposed to drop down? These things right here? The only thing that worked on this screen was to enter the zip code and then submit. That's it. So we on purpose, we again did it. Took us to this screen. Guess what the only button that worked on this screen was? Schedule a redelivery. So, on purpose, we did it again, okay? Because we're trying to see where it's going, okay? Send us to this. I don't know about you guys, but UPS doesn't need my social security number, date of birth. I swear it wanted my blood type at the bottom of this page. At this point, we chickened out. We're like, we're not going any further. So we were doing a speech at Subway for their corporate guys. We were teaching counterfeit money and that kind of thing too. So this young lady raises her hand from the corner and, Sergeant Edenfield, I know what slide 5 does. I said, oh, do tell. So she fills all this out, goes to slide 5, it asks for your bank account information. So she filled it out. And then they went to town on her account, okay? So just to check, we went back to this screen and we typed in 00000 just to see. And it did the same exact thing, okay? So what can you do if you get one of these from the Postal Service or UPS or FedEx and it says your stuff needs to be rescheduled? Check their actual website, call them on the phone, okay? But don't click this link right here, okay? All right. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus in this room. But I said I wanted y'all to learn about 3 things. This is number 2. Who's got Facebook in here? All right. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. These right here. These right here. These right here. They're scams. Okay? Missing persons are not going to start in yard sale groups. Injured puppies are not going to start in yard sale groups. Can y'all see this one? It says hashtag Phoenix City, hashtag Columbus, hashtag Richmond Hill, hashtag Hinesville. Where in Hinesville? Where in Phoenix City? When we do missing person bolos on our police department page, last seen, 3rd Avenue and 28th Street, right? Can y'all see at the bottom right here, all of these? Commenting has been turned off. Why do you think commenting is turned off? So my butt can't get in there and say this is a scam, okay? What else can you do? Right here, the profile that shared it. Click on that and check that profile. They'll have 1 to 2 friends, 10 followers, a stolen profile picture, and then they're probably in advertising or marketing or sales or some mess like that. Okay? So you say, what's the end game? Starts here with a missing person. When you edit your Facebook page, say you have a typo on your Facebook post, and 10 people share it, and then you add something to it or you change it. The post was from 5 days ago. It changes. Everybody that shared your post, the corrections, it fixes those too, right? Because you're the original poster. Y'all follow me? So, 400 people share this, turns into this. They change it to this. Can y'all see this right here, this link? It's a malicious link. You click it on your phone, and then guess what? They're about to go to town on your phone. But it started looking like this, because everybody, you want to share a missing person, an elderly person, hurt puppies. You want to share it. And then what they do is they change it, and it turns into this. Okay? So everybody tracking, everybody following. I don't want to see not one of y'all share one of these things.
What do they get after they turn into that?
When you click on that link right there, they full on with either your phone, they'll start sending you stuff. I'm not clicking on that link, so I don't know exactly where they're going with it. But again, you click on that link, and like I was talking about before, I've got bank account stuff on my phone. I've got contacts.
So the purpose is for them to gather as much of your personal information.
Right. And it may be that for you to click on it, then they can hack into your Facebook and then go from there. Did yours get hacked the other day? Was it somebody else? Okay. That might be the end game. I don't know because I'm too scared to click on the link and I don't want anybody yelling at me. So, same thing here. And this is one we showed. This person shared it in like 3 different groups, like all over, not even just here. It was like all over the country. And then it turned into this. Okay? And there's your malicious link right there that they want you to click on. You tracking? I want to see not one of y'all post these, okay? All right, how about this? Yeah, I didn't upload the last one because I fixed this. What are your bank security questions? This stuff? Right? Okay. All right, card cracking. Y'all follow me. Who still writes checks? It's okay. It's okay. I mean, this younger generation don't even know what a check is. Okay, who still puts checks in the mail? Who puts checks in the metal blue boxes? Ain't all of them. Trust me. Go down to Benning Drive. It's still there because they still hitting it. The one at the federal government building on 12th is still there too. Bradley Park's still there. Brookstone Center Parkway is still there. Trust me, because they hitting it every night. Okay. What's on the bottom of your check? And account number, right? All right, y'all follow me. If you need me to stop, it took us a couple years to figure out what they were doing, but the whole process is card cracking. You put a check in the mail, account and routing numbers on the bottom, right? These guys, they started breaking into blue boxes. They just like run them over and break into them. Then they started torching the back. Now do you know what they're doing? They're either robbing or paying off postal carriers and stealing their key. So they pull up to Brookstone Center Parkway to Benning Drive, pull up, open it, take the whole box of mail out, which includes what? Checks. Throw an empty one back in there because this ain't the first time they stole it. Shut it, and they're gone. Okay? And then you say, well, okay, they can use my account and routing number. I ain't got any money in there anyway. Guess what? These banks will front money while they're figuring out if the check is fraudulent or not. Okay? So they will take your account and routing number off of your check. Then they'll get on Facebook, and it's basically soliciting people with bank accounts that want to make a little money off of it. Okay? So Miller steals the check. She steals your check. She counterfeits a new check. She gets on Facebook, says, hey, who's got Truist? Who's got Synovus? I say, oh, I got Synovus. I want to make some money. When they counterfeit the new check, the check goes into my account. Okay? And then and they'll rewrite it for $20,000. And then while the bank is verifying to see if it's fraudulent or not, they either withdraw it with cash or Zelle payments, Cash App, things like that, and the money is gone. And then guess what? The bank says, oh crap, that check is fake. Who's in the hole now? Me. Right? That is card cracking. Okay? Here's an example. This is him on Facebook. Any Truist got money for you, tap in. He's still sitting at 710th Street because Miller and I put him in jail a couple years ago. Okay? If you got Synovus and trying to make some cheese, get at me. Bring me all USAA. You see it's very lucrative. Synovus or Chase, if you're trying to make some money, hit me. So what he's doing is soliciting people with a Synovus or a Chase or a Truist account to deposit that counterfeit check into. And then he's going to give me $100 for letting me use my account. Okay, who's got their kids or grandkids on their bank account with them? Anybody? Man, y'all mean. Y'all ain't even gonna help your kids or your grandkids out? God, duh. It's okay, just admit it, it's okay. All right. Kids. Yeah, kids or grandkids, okay? Let me tell you, the people that sign up for this with these scammers, these jerks, they're of all ages. So I don't know how young your kids are, because I know you're only like 40, so, you know. They're of all ages. So you've got your kids or grandkids on your account, and when that check comes back as fraudulent, little Johnny ain't going to be able to pay it back, is he? Who's going to be paying it back? Me? You? Okay? Does that make sense? Has it happened to anybody? They've stolen a check and So whoever's name is on that check is not who actually stole it. It's whoever signed up for the Facebook, said, oh yeah, you can have my Truist account. Yep, they mobile bank it, and then it's Apple Pay and Zelle and whatever to get the money out. Yep. I can guarantee you they're going to hit that blue box on Benning Drive Monday night, because what's Monday? A holiday. So there's going to be extra mail up in there. So that's when we run our details around holidays and stuff for these. We put a lot of people in jail on it, but guess what else? And this is something I want to get across for your kids and your grandkids. We also put the people in jail that willingly give up their bank account information to deposit the check. We're putting them in jail too. Okay? If they don't report their card lost or stolen, if we can show that they've got their card, because it's mobile deposit and then they transfer it out, Cash App and Zelle, and if, whose account was it? It was my account. If I still have my bank card and I'm using it consistently, I know that my account hasn't been taken over. We've done some search warrants on our suspects, because how do they communicate? Facebook, Instagram, because they put it on here and then they talk on Messenger. We've gotten a lot of people that way. So we're putting those people in jail too, okay? This is a search warrant. I was out of town. It's Corporal Miller and another detective that I've got. This is the entire operation of card cracking. Can y'all see this? Check Builder Pro. They don't have to wash checks anymore. They just take that account and routing number and just type the whole thing again. You got blank bank cards here, blank checks. Anybody know what this is? Anybody work for TSYS or Synovus back in the day? A card embosser. It's an old school card embosser. So they would take these blank bank cards, put them in here. You can kind of see two of them right here. And they're putting the numbers and the names on there. Okay? Miller and them did a great job on this. But guess what? All this stuff, guess where you can get it? Amazon. Why? Why? If you own a small business, you got to be able to pay your employees, right? You got to be able to write checks. Check Builder Pro, you got to be able to get blank checks, right? All this stuff came from Amazon. Oh, I forgot the printer up here too. Okay? Now y'all look like deer in headlights. All right, pine straw scam. It is still going around. Has anybody experienced this? Okay. They drive up with pine straw in the back of the truck. They'll drive up, hey, you need any pine straw? Well, yes, sir, I sure do. All right, cool. Well, guess what? They don't quote you a price right then and there. Yeah, we'll take care of it. They already have the, pine straw bales come in have the strings on there. What they'll do is they'll throw like 3 bales down, and they'll go back to their truck and grab like 20 more and say, oh, this is how many bales we used. And then they're going to ask for $4 or $5 grand for pine straw. Okay? We've actually got video of one of them digging in the back of a truck, and we watched him do like this with the empty ones. Okay? This is still going around, Harris County too, so. Do what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I want to talk about power of attorney for just a second. If someone has a power of attorney over you, or you are someone that would be, what is the word I'm looking for? Huh? It's too early for me to, you're the one that's going to be helping spend the money, make the decisions. Thank you. Good Lord. What's in here? I know. Especially in the state of Georgia, a power of attorney is not an end-all be-all, okay? We all the time have suspects that come up to us. We're like, you spent $200,000 of your mama's money. Well, I got a power of attorney here. And then we take that power of attorney and then we put them in jail. Because guess what? In Georgia, a power of attorney You have to use that money towards that person. And guess what? In 2019, they changed the law. And in Georgia, you have to have a whole spreadsheet on what you use the money on. Because the state or I can come calling at any point in time and say, show it to me. Okay? Yes, you can allot a little bit for gas money for yourself and things like that because you're caretaker. Okay? But that money has got to go to the person who the power of attorney is over. All right? So don't let them fool you into thinking otherwise. Okay? And in the state of Georgia back in 2013, Georgia made banks mandatory reporters. Because what are you going to see moving a lot quicker than no power or no food in the house? You're going to see that money moving, aren't you? Miller and I can't tell you how many times, Judge D'Antonio and us, I mean, we're like beer drinking buddies at this point because we're in probate court all the time fighting for seniors to get conservatorship and guardianship for these seniors. Okay? So y'all just keep that in mind. Power of attorney is not the end-all be-all. Okay? Yep.
Everybody, goes crazy about the child abuse thing, but nobody ever gets to the point of realizing you can do the same for elder abuse.
Yes. All you got to do is Google elder abuse. It's Adult Protective Services. That's the equivalent of like DFAC for children. Okay. You can always file a report with us. We're mandatory reporters too. Okay. I'll tell you, a lot of times we start out with financial exploitation cases of elderly people, and then once we get in there, then it's physical abuse. Then it's neglect with food and other things, okay? They don't have any power in the house, things like that. But a lot of times it starts with the money because they see the banks see the money first, okay? Yes, sir?
I have a question for you concerning how do you go about catching the local ones, and then how do you go about catching the international scammers? And what's your success rate here in Columbus?
102%.
Amen.
It just depends on the case. For the local, he asked about how we catch the local scammers. Like the guys I was talking about, Muskogee County Sheriff's Office, they pretended to be them and bring the cash down to the Government Center building. Well, guess what Government Center's got? Cameras. The ones with the Haiti that I was talking about, our detectives that are way more technologically advanced than me, it's like text and Facebook groups of law enforcement, and it's like GroupMe and things like that. So one of my detectives with the Haiti thing, those suspects, he put it in there, what was happening in Columbus, and then an agency out of North Georgia commented back, said, hey, call me, we're experiencing this too, and then they pulled it all together, and that's going to end up going federal probably. But so just reaching out, things like that. We use social media also. It just depends, case by case. But our success rate is 102%. So there you go. Yes, ma'am. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that's what we're about to talk about, some prevention stuff. So, yep. Yes, ma'am.
You had commented on phone spoofing.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering, right before I left Apple, they were developing email spoofing for Apple customers.
Yeah.
So that you didn't get spammed so much, you could actually have Apple create a dummy email account for you from your own account. And I'm wondering if technology has gotten to the point now, because they were just developing it when I left Apple.
Right.
Do they have the capability
Yes.
of you getting an email that says georgepower.com, but you click on it and it's not georgepower.com?
Yeah. And I wasn't going to scare the crap out of y'all with that, but yeah, they do. Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm ready to go into prevention, so I want to share, if I can, one scam happened to me 6 months ago. It's the best I've ever seen. It almost got me. And it's Facebook Marketplace.
The devil.
It's the
I'm
best-
telling
it's
you.
the best scam I've ever seen. It was very, very good. It was a young lady. She's visited church here before. She grew up in a youth group near ours in Memphis, Tennessee. And Edward was not allowed to laugh about this, but I was considering buying a car from her. And there's a bit of a running gag about people don't have a car. But at any rate, it was a decent price. It was a good price. It wasn't a ridiculous price.
Right.
harm. It's her account, 110%. My wife has been Facebook friends with her for years. Definitely her account. Everything lines up. She's got the price. She says, we say, hey, we're interested. She says, well, I've got, a couple of people asking, but I'll hold it for you if you want me to, if you're serious. And we're like, sure. And she's like, well, just send me something to hold it, like send me $500 and I'll hold it for you. And just cash at me, whatever, and I'll hold it for you. And the grammar was good. I spent a lot of time in India. Even the good Indians, I can typically pick up on, they'll say kindly or they say request you and stuff like that. Like, there's just little tells. None of that was there. And so I'm like, I just said, it just feels a little odd. She said, I can understand you think this is like a scam or something. It's not. Let me just send you a video. It's a video of her, a girl that we've known, that we knew growing up, saying, hey, this is real, this is not a scam. It looks like her, it sounds like her, it was obviously an AI video. No way to tell it's not her. So I had an idea, and I said, okay, what's the name of the youth minister at the Olive Branch Church of Christ? Long pause.
Crickets.
Long pause. That's her youth minister she grew up with. And so I just wanted to share that in the sense of, like, I consider myself, hubris will give it to you, but I consider myself somewhat savvy to, like, these kind of things. And I mean, we were, like, minutes away from sending this scam for $500. And with AI, they will get you. And the wrinkle that gave me was from now on, even if I think someone's real, I'm just going, because of AI, I'm going to ask them a random question that only they would know
Right.
before I ever send them money.
In this presentation, it just scratches the surface, and so that's another reason so y'all can tell stories like this. But yeah, yes, to answer your question, yes. So, and I really do think Facebook Marketplace is the devil. So we get so many reports and scams out of there. So, and that's kind of why I touch on the yes scam, but because that's kind of the baby version of that. So.
One thing too, if you ever voluntarily give any of these folks money, the bank cannot get it back. Because you voluntarily gave them the money. I had a friend that got scammed with one of those David's and $300,000. Her husband had just died, and it was over a period of time when she was lonely, and she swore up and down she had 2 boyfriends. One was in Scotland and one was in Africa. And she gave them $300,000. And then, every time they said they were coming in to visit, she would drive all the way to the Atlanta airport, and of course, they never counted. And her sons, when they finally got wise to it, they went to the bank, and the bank said, you can't do anything, so she voluntarily gave them the money. And she wouldn't listen to us. We would.
That's what, when I mentioned the romance scams, that's how persuasive they are. And they obviously were already watching her Facebook page. So, all right. So, what do you do if you have been scammed? What is your first phone call? Do not say police department, because our response time is probably 2 hours. So, do what? To the ambulance? First phone call, seriously, first phone call. Your bank, okay? Because hopefully, if it's transfers or something like that, maybe they can freeze it, stop it, reverse it. But if you wait, or like her case, your friend's case, it was months and months and months and months of sending money, okay? First call is the bank. Then call us. And I hope you got some time to wait. We do have an online reporting system now. You can do it from the website. It's got its ups and downs, but you can upload documents and things like that. So that's where the majority of our reports come from. Then you want to do what? The 3 credit bureaus, right? All you have to do is report it to one, and the others will fall in line once you reported that one. Okay, I'd freeze everything, lock it down, okay? Yes? Uh-huh. Yes.
And they told me, I had to
Okay.
not just one, but all three.
And you can just to be safe, but yeah, yes, yes, you do. Yeah, put a fraud alert, right? Because like I said to one of you guys, it's not a matter of if you're going to get hacked or whatever, it's a matter of when. So what you can do to try to prevent the damage, for lack of a better way of putting it, okay? If you do give a scammer your username, your passwords, your bank info, whatever, make sure you change all of that. If you get a check stolen, it's got your account and routing number on it. I know it sucks, especially business owners, but they're going to keep using it. So you need to open up a new account. Ooh, let me not sneeze into this thing. If you gave a scammer your Social Security number for any of these scams, call the Social Security office. And they're back open now, so you can actually go up there on North Lake Parkway. They're up there, okay? Again, just like the lady I was talking about, the grandmother, if you do fall for one of these, be advised, they're going to keep coming back. And it's not going to be the same scam. It's like they put you on a hot list, okay? If you do get one of these phone calls and you don't want to be like me and mess with them, what can you do? Hang up immediately, right? Most of your phones, they have spam detection. Granted, Verizon thinks that the Columbus Consolidated Government is spam, because every time I get a 653-3000 phone call letting me know it's a holiday on Monday, Verizon tells me it's spam. And I wholeheartedly agree it's spam, because it's the city government. I can't do it, but I know some of these phone companies, they will also let you, like if the phone number is not in the phone book in your phone, and they call you, it'll go automatically to your voicemail. So I can't do that being a cop. I get people that call me all the time. So just think about that. Again, don't trust these caller IDs. Y'all saw the Georgia Power one, right? It looked like Georgia Power, so don't trust these caller IDs. Yeah.
And I had to be outside of my mailman was coming at the time, and I showed him, I said, is this y'all? He said, no, you never call.
Yep. Don't give out your personal information over the phone, ever. Unless you initiated the call, right? There's going to be one situation. What can y'all think of one situation? You can't answer this. One situation that you'd be talking to that you'd give your date of birth. Insurance, maybe, yes. Doctor, right? Because they want to verify it's you, okay? But you know your doctor, right? So, Scam City. I should write a book that says Scam City.
Well, they thought it was scam, but I had run into a survey.
Uh-huh.
And it was pretty simple, nothing personal, you know. But in the middle of it, that's when I realized, you have a checking or savings account.
Do you have an Android or an iPhone? Do you have a checking or a savings account? Right.
They hung up.
Yep. For your passwords, please don't use ABC123. Please don't use Jane 1984, which is me and my year of birth. You know, please don't use things you've got on your Facebook. You know, do combinations, use numbers, use symbols. Okay. So we talked about what you can do, like with your phone services. Call whoever you're through, Verizon, AT&T, see what you got. And then with your banks. I bank with Capital One. I have it set up where I get a text message every time my debit card is used. You know, I've got a company over in Phoenix City. She didn't check her bank account for over a year. They went to town for a year. $200-something thousand. Okay? So through Capital One, not only do they do free credit monitoring for me, I also have it set up if my balance gets to a certain level low. I have it set up where if a withdrawal or transactions over like $200, I get a text message every time my debit card is used. Okay? Yes. Yes. Discover's also great. Discover, not that I'm a Discover rep, but Discover's great as far as security stuff. So y'all call your bank, see what they can get you, okay? Because if you can catch it early, you can control the damage, okay? Does that make sense? Does everybody? Okay. These right here, if you've got phones, take a picture. He was asking how we handle the international scammers. Up here, it's the Federal Trade Commission website. That blue book you have, it says phone scams, right here. On the back of that is the same website for Federal Trade Commission. They have a lot of great information. But also, if you do fall victim to a scam, what's your first phone call? The bank. What's your second phone call? The police department, because you need a report, right? Then what? You can report it right here to the Federal Trade Commission. Then you can report it right here to IC3.gov, which is the FBI's website. Because guess what? They keep databases for these scammers, okay? We had a group, a scammer, she fell victim to it for $30,000 here, right? We knew it was an international scammer, so there wasn't going to be anything we could really do. Well, guess what? She entered it into this IC3.gov. That database, because it's FBI-based, tracked the spoofed phone numbers that were calling, and they tracked it. There were 5 victims nationwide, and they tracked it to the scammer that was out of California. So they sent it to the FBI office in California, and they put his butt in prison. Okay? So, bank, police department, Federal Trade Commission, IC3.gov. Same thing for these spoof numbers. I know they're spoofed, but you can put them in this Federal Trade Commission website right here and the IC3.gov. That's how they track who's calling you, okay? And then lastly, not that anybody falls into this category, but AARP.org, they have a lot of great information as well. And I will tell you, there is no age limit on AARP because my son, he's 18. He's a member because he likes the free Dairy Queen ice creams he gets once a month. So, he's like a little Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, if you guys watch that. So, AARP.org. Those are great resources, okay? And you can go there, like we were talking about Google, to see if it's a scam. You can go to these websites, and it'll probably talk about it on those websites, okay? Yeah, hang on a second. Yes, ma'am.
When I reported it to United Postal Service, to their fraud, one of the first questions they asked me is, had I talked to the post office where it originated from? And then they asked me not to, since I had not to contact the local post office, because they investigate postal workers as well.
Yes.
I know that's fine.
Yes.
So they said, don't go to the local
Right.
post office and tell them you had a problem.
I can tell you they're investigating several at Mildred Road. And then that Atlanta Distribution Center for Postal, that's where a lot of our issues are. So the check, you got to think about it, all these blue boxes and stuff, our mail all gets routed through Mildred Road, right? So if one of those crackpots that work at that post office, if it gets to Atlanta, then you got that problem. Or we've got checks trying to come to us that are getting stolen from the distribution center in Atlanta. So yes, don't talk to your local post office. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Probably. You can hit like spam, in your email thing, and it'll kick it to your spam folder. Just do that. Yep. All right, and lastly, for those of you that have Facebook, this is called a QR code. My lovely and gracious Detective Miller created this because I'm not tech savvy enough. All you got to do is put your phone camera up to it, and it'll take you to the CPD Property and Financial Crimes Facebook page, which is, if you message the page, it's one of us two that you're talking to. Every day we put something scam-wise, things we're seeing around town. That's the skimmers. We put the skimmers on our Facebook page that we came across. It's a great place for information because our police department, their main page, they have enough stuff to put out for the city and for our entire police department. So Chief Mathis graciously let me have my Facebook page back. I used to have it years ago, and it was taken from me, but Chief Mathis let me have it back, and we post almost every day, okay? It's good information. And then if you guys get some of these scam emails and stuff, send it to me on this page, because then I'll turn around and post it so that others know about it, okay? And then we also put suspect photos and stuff, so if you guys know them, you can let me know. So, but that's it's CPD, Property and Financial Crimes. The QR code just makes it easier to find us. So, and I'll come back to that. But all right, so one more time. Can you go back on for a minute? I will. One more time. If they call you, they tell you you have warrants for your arrest, your Social Security number's been compromised, you missed jury duty, and they tell you to go to Walgreens or Walmart and get gift cards and read the number off the back of the gift cards, it is a what? I did not quite hear you. I know y'all are louder in church. Okay. All right. Thank you guys very much for having us. We'll be around for a little bit if you got more questions. I'm going to go back to the QR code in a minute. Again, thank you guys for the opportunity. If you've got another group that we can go talk to, we talk to businesses, churches, assisted living homes. We've done neighborhood watch groups. No group is too small, no group is too big, okay? So, and we will tailor it to whatever the company is. Like I was talking about Subway, we had some counterfeit money stuff we talked about. So we can tailor it that way too, okay? So let me put the QR code back up. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate you all. And please, let's keep communication open. Y'all message me on the page and let us know how we can help and what we can do for you, okay? So thank you very much. What? 225-4445. I'm better on my email, though, I'll tell you that. Hang on, you got me right here. You ain't got to write it on there?